You're now in rotation with LoudMindsTV. I'm your host. I'm So Ian, Boston's favorite, man. And it feels so good to be back here in your homes, man. This is my season 2. I have to thank you all for, just supporting me, watching me, tweeting me, Instagramming. However you see me out on the tee, running around, I appreciate all the love and constructive criticism that I've gotten. Also, a lot of people always bother me, how do I get on your show? How do I do this? How do I do that? So email me at loudmindstv@gmail.com, and let's work it out. There's tons of wonderful people out there, tons of talent. I need those loud minds, those great minds, those beautiful minds out there. So I'm glad that you're working with me, working with you, and we're here, season 2. But who do I have with me today? The lovely Miss. Say your name, because everybody messes up your name.
Do they?
Do
okay. Well, my name is Ayanna Presley.
Miss Ayanna Presley.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
I'm thrilled to be here to kick off season 2.
Yeah.
That's historic.
Thank you.
We
have history right here.
That's very kind. But thank you for having me. You do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Love coming to BNN.
Yes.
It's important that our folks are in front of the camera, but also behind it. So, positive stuff.
So now you're the city councilor at large.
Yes.
What is that versus a city councilor?
Well, thank you for asking. So the Boston City Council is comprised of 13 members. You have 9 city councilors that are considered district city councilors. They represent clusters of neighborhoods and upwards of about 5, roughly. And then you have 4 city councilors that represent and serve the entire city of Boston. So that is 617,000 people, I think by last count, and 22 neighborhoods. So I am one of the 4 citywide city councilors, and so my title is officially at large.
At large. All right. So where are you from and how did you end up here? Because you're not a Bostonian.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, this is an adopted home for me, but it's been an adopted home that I have benefited from greatly, which is why I wanted to run for office and represent it, because this is a city that has given so much to me. But I originally hail from Chicago, Illinois, so I like to joke that I'm sort of on black progressive politician trend, Barack Duvall, representing Chicago. But I came to Boston to attend Boston University, and I'm so glad that I did, and that I made that decision not just based upon the fine institution that is Boston University, but really what informed that decision for me is the city that the school was in. And so ultimately, this city set me on a pathway of public service while I was a student at Boston University. I was a student leader and active in anything that one could be elected or appointed to, and really committed to giving back. And so I interned for a congressman who has since retired. His name is Congressman Joseph P. Kennedy II, and I worked for him for 4 years. And then after that, I went on to work for United States Senator John Kerry, who is now our new Secretary of State. And so I had this very rarefied political tutelage, if you will. And both of those experiences, working for a congressman and a senator, really underscored to me the meaningful impact and difference that government can make in the lives of people. And so ultimately, that's what led me to run for office in 2009. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story.
Thanks.
And you said senator first, and then.
Well, I started with a congressman, so I was on. So I was working for Congressman Joseph P. Kennedy II, and then I went on to work for United States Senator John Kerry for 11 years.
Different fields, though.
Well, I mean, they're both politics, and they're both government, and they're both on the federal level of government. It's just one member was in the U.S. House of Representatives, and one member was in the U.S. Senate. And in working for Senator Kerry, I worked both in Washington, D.C. and in Boston. But, I'm, a Bostonian through and through as far as I'm concerned. No disrespect to my native origins of Chicago. But, what I would say, I think my story is an important one in the sense that we talk a lot about how people come to Boston to attend some of the best higher institutions in the country, in the world really, but then they leave. And that's what we call the brain drain, when we're not retaining talent and people don't stay. They sort of come, get a degree, and all the benefits the city has to offer, and then they move on. But I stayed.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so.
And you participated and you paved the way.
Well, I
now,
try.
It's Black History Month.
Yes.
I'm wearing my Malcolm X shirt.
Yeah, I see that.
Now, you are a Black history legend, in my sense, and I think in Boston as well. And
Well,
that's my opinion as well.
Okay, well, that's very humbling.
How does it feel to be the first woman of color in the history of the Boston City Council?
Yeah.
And that's a title and a mouthful.
Yes, it is. Well, I would just say that, you know, I certainly did not run for office to make history. I don't think people that set out to make history, that there's anything redeeming about that, okay? I happen to have made history, but that was not my goal. I just wanted to make a difference and use the vehicle and the lane of government with which to do that. So it's very humbling. You know, I think it's a blessing, but it also is a burden. You know, anytime you're the first something, as much of a blessing as that is, it can be a burden in the sense that it's an awesome responsibility. You know, so I'm very committed to making sure that I lift as I climb, and although I was the first woman of color elected, that I certainly will not be the last.
I like how you worded that. It was very genuine,
Oh,
too.
thank you.
I appreciate you for saying it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you love women, of course. And,
Yes.
you know, you want to represent them the right way.
Yes.
Why did you establish the Committee on Women and Healthy Communities?
Okay. Well, you know, this is what I believe, and I know to be true, that government is stronger and more effective when it reflects the citizenry that it serves, okay? So we all benefit from a government that is more diverse. And to me, the true value and strength of diversity is perspective.
Okay.
And so in that I am the first woman of color elected to that body, and at that time, it's a 100-year history, I felt a responsibility to advocate for girls and women and to champion those issues that had not previously been represented. Not because, you know, my colleagues don't have an appreciation for those issues. It certainly was not malice. It's just an oversight. And so when you have people that are serving, that offer a different life perspective and experience, then they can take on those things and approach them differently. So I've established this new standing policy committee called the Committee on Women and Healthy Communities. We work on issues that uniquely and adversely impact women, ranging from domestic violence, sexual assault, teen pregnancy, human trafficking. I advocate for more women in police and fire and the building trades, and look to eliminate barriers for women entrepreneurs. And notice, I didn't say I work on women's issues, because there's no such thing. I find that very offensive.
Okay.
You know, any issue that's impacting grandmothers and mothers and daughters and sisters is impacting whole families and entire communities.
Yeah.
And that perspective needs to be represented. And then the healthy communities part of the committee has everything to do with both the literal and figurative and holistic health of our city. I don't think we can have a strong city without healthy communities, and we don't have a healthy community unless our families are stable. And so really what I am is committed to the stabilization of our families, whether you're a grandparent raising a grandchild, single parented household like the one I grew up in, 2 mommies, 2 daddies, a family of 1. I just want the city to work for everybody.
That's beautiful. That is. I'm sorry, I get lost in our conversation. How does that tie in with the Northeastern annual event now?
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, right. So as founder and chair of the Committee on Women and Healthy Communities, one of the issues that we work on is sexual violence. So, you know, people talk a lot about the need for us to break cycles of violence, but I find that by and large they're focused on street violence. And what I believe is that violence begets violence, okay? So oftentimes, you know, people are emulating behaviors. So as long as we have unrest and violence in our homes, you will see that perpetuated in our schools, and then you will see that in our streets. So I just want to challenge the public discourse that when you say you want to end the violence, you need to name and include sexual violence, because that is very permeating, it is pervasive, it does not discriminate, and if you don't talk about it, you won't work on it.
Absolutely.
And it's an issue that makes people very uncomfortable. I'm a survivor of myself, of a decade of childhood sexual abuse, and I'm also a survivor of sexual assault as a young adult. In fact, while I was a student in college. I tell that story because I know it doesn't belong to me alone. And so at Northeastern, we had our first annual Raise Your Voice Summit.
Raise Your Voice.
Raise Your Voice. And it was a day of empowerment for girls and women. We created this incredible healing and transformative space for 100+ women, many of whom had self-disclosed for the first time that they were survivors. Wow. And we also equipped girls and women with the knowledge and the skills and a sense of empowerment, hopefully to ensure that none of them will ever be victimized or exploited in that way.
I think that's beautiful again.
Thank you.
And I love that. I kind of look at setbacks as a slingshot. So you either can be held back or you can be propelled forward.
Absolutely.
And I love that you've propelled forward, but at the same time, you've taken things and other things that have held you back. And you've announced it, you called it out.
Thank you.
So many things that we're not proud of or, that we like to talk about or we're uncomfortable about, we tend to hide and throw
Absolutely. Well, I like to say that my past has informed my present, but I'm not hostage to it.
Ooh, that's
So
I need to quote you after this show.
I'm going to quote you on that slingshot.
Please do. Let's talk about the Lower Mills. For Black History Month, you're doing the children's story.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm an only child, and because I didn't have siblings, and probably because I was just a little odd, or intellectually curious.
Okay, I like that.
Books were my friends, and so I was an avid reader, and I really believe in all the benefits of our branch libraries. And they aren't just the place where you can go and do your homework or look for a job online. I think they really build community. So in an effort to promote our branch libraries and to foster a love of reading and to engage families, I am hosting Black History Month Story Hours, where I am reading a story about a Black history hero or shero.
I love that shero.
To young children throughout the city of Boston. So my first story hour was at Grove Hall. My second was in Brighton earlier today, and tomorrow I'll be at the Lower Mills Branch Library in my own home neighborhood of Dorchester at 10:30 in the morning. Yes.
10:30.
Yes.
I should get up and go.
Well, this is school vacation week, so that's one of the reasons why we're doing it now.
See, look at you. You're up to Side note, okay, and this actually goes off topic. Your stance on liquor license. I read a recent article that you wrote.
Yes.
Blackstonian, was it?
Well, they may have posted it. Yes, and I'm grateful for that. Shout out to Jamal Crawford, Blackstonian. Okay. Always informing and empowering the community through information. So liquor licenses. I really believe that it's critical for the city of Boston to foster a nightlife, a city that fosters, culture that has everything to do with people then wanting to live in the city, wanting to stay here and make roots, and that's how you build community. So what I'm advocating for is that we lift the cap on liquor licenses that currently exist so we can make more alcohol licenses available to restaurants. So I'm not trying to, have more liquor stores. I'm not even advocating for more bars. As someone who's committed to breaking cycles of poverty and violence, how do we break cycles of poverty? You have to build wealth. And I want neighborhoods that have been historically economically depressed to have an opportunity to own businesses. Because you can't tell people they should buy local if there's no local to support.
Yes.
Okay? And so, what I know is that restaurants can really be very transformative. They can convert a neighborhood that was blighted and depressed and make it vital and vibrant and incentivize other businesses to go there and make neighborhoods a destination location. And I think that's so important to break down the barriers that exist in this city. We have 22 distinct neighborhoods, but a lot of times people only want to stay in that neighborhood, so restaurants are great.
Or they can't.
Well, I mean, listen, the restaurants are important economic anchors, they're job creators, and they build and foster community. And so what I'm looking for is an equity and opportunity, okay? So that we lift the cap and that more restaurants have the opportunity to be successful and to provide liquor.
I just love everything that you're saying. So we're actually running out of time.
All right.
Time goes by when you're having fun.
Yes.
All right. So I have a hot box segment on my show.
Oh, Lord.
Don't worry.
Now, you didn't tell us that in the briefing.
I'm not going to throw you under the bus. Trust me. I want to do that to you. All right. You're such a wonderful person.
Okay.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you could be the first female Black mayor?
Oh my goodness, you have to ask the voters that. I mean, right now I'm running for re-election to the Boston City Council. I hope to have your support in that endeavor so that I can continue this good work. I'll be on the ballot November 2013.
Good, and we'll be following you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
follow me at Ayanna Presley on Twitter.
Yes,
okay.
We got to put that in the lower thirds down there.
Okay, thank you for having me.
But I appreciate you. Thank you for being on my season opener. You've been a wonderful guest, wonderful interview, and anything I can help on this side, I would love to. So
well, you're doing your part hosting the show, so thank you.
I'm doing it for my community just like
excellent, excellent.
All right, we're going to run to a commercial break, and when we get back, we'll have YPP in the building, Young People's Project. Peace. In your now rotation with LoudMindsTV, I'm your host, EMP. Yeah, we're in the building. Man, it's my season opener, and it feels so good to be back home, or at least in your homes, and thank you for welcoming me. We have YPP in the building, Young People's Project. Let's go down the names. I don't want to mess up anybody's names. Let's start with you.
My name's Chad Milner. I work with the Young People's Project.
And what is your title there, brother?
I'm Director of Technology, Communications, and Media.
Boom. Next.
Shantae, work at YPP, I'm a math literacy worker.
I'm Clifford Freeman. I'm a college math literacy worker at the Young People's Project.
And thank you for welcoming, for being on my show. This is my season opener, so I appreciate you taking time out your day to be here with me. You know, you're doing a good deed for your community, and at the same time, trying to give you guys some shine. Well, we're gonna start with the kids first before we work our way up to the boss. What brought you to YPP?
So this is a easy one. So I have a friend named Stanley. He goes by Stiz. He's a rapper. You probably know him.
Yeah, Stiz.
Yep. And you know, he just came to me. He said he knew me. Hey, you need a job? I said, I hope. Yeah. I was like, I hope it's not retail. So, but it's not retail. No offense to anyone in retail, but when you're in a work like this, you never want to go back to retail. So using your mind is good.
So that's what brought you to, your friend brought you there.
Refer, yep.
Your story.
All right, so what brought me to YPP is BYF.
Which is, break it down.
Boston Youth Fund.
Continue.
You know, and basically for a job. And, well, I'm here now. So, and I like it so far. It's good.
Well, what do you like best about the program?
We're being hands-on, working with the children, and, you know, getting to teach them the skills and attributes that they need to succeed.
And you?
What I like about the program the most is it gives the young people an outlet to be a leader. Like as growing up, if you're in 3rd grade, you never really led anybody because teachers teaching. But when you join the Young People's Project and other organizations like this, it opens to another branch of people that are young people that are actually leading. Like I'm in a coalition called Teens Leading the Way, and we're in the State House every day trying to get bills passed. We have one in circulation now, it's, civics. I don't want to butcher the bill number. I think it's S068. Do not kill me, Jeff, if I got that wrong. But yeah, we're trying to get that passed for civics and as an education, so we can have that to be a graduation requirement for like every student in Massachusetts.
So I heard math as well. What else is important to you in terms of not just the after-school program, because you just spoke on politics. What things have been important to you while being involved with YPP?
If you have an idea, just get it out. Loud minds. If it's in your mind, just get it out. Because nobody can steer you wrong, because we have a right, it's freedom of speech. We have that. And just everyone just to be heard if you have something to say. That's
beautiful, brother.
Yeah.
Why is YPP important to you?
YPP is important to me because, I don't know, it just allows me, I can't really say to be myself because I'm already myself in general, but it's important because, you know, the things that that they're trying to do.
Take your time.
Yeah, that they're trying to do, you know, like just trying to make a better future for people in general. So that's why it's important.
That is important. And thank you for sharing your stories. All right, now we're going to bother you now. You ready? We're going to throw your cameras on you. All right, cool. What was the City Year celebration all about? And who are the other people and organizations involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to back up a quick step.
Go ahead.
I know we're on a timeline, but YPP, we're all about creating meaningful work opportunities for young people like Cliff and Shantae. They are trained as math literacy workers. They go into their communities in Boston, and they teach younger students math and STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, skills using games, activities, hands-on. We're trying to work with all kids, not just cream from the top, but we like to call it raising the floor instead of, you know, the roof or taking kids out. And so we had an event a couple weeks ago, which you came to at the City Year. I appreciate you. Which was awesome.
Thank you.
Was co-hosted by Charlie Rose, who's the Vice President of City Year, and comedian Jimmy Tingle, who is a local Bostonian. And we used that opportunity to celebrate the birthday of a civil rights icon, Bob Moses, who founded the Algebra Project, which is our parent organization. And we were also able to raise a good amount of money to support the math literacy workers in Boston. So we actually raised around $30,000, and with those funds, we're gonna employ, train, and engage 10 local Boston high school students for an entire year.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing you didn't say though, and I was there, and I have to repeat it. I don't remember. It was the mayor of Cambridge, I believe.
Yes.
But she pretty much said it's like the UN here.
Right.
And there were so many different races. There
Yeah.
were babies to old folks and everybody in between.
Right.
It was such a diverse crowd. I don't have the privilege to go out every night here in Boston and have a diverse crowd like that.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most amazing things about being there, on top of meeting all the wonderful folks and the young individuals. Also, I was really surprised to see how many young folks were involved, and even concerned and just showed an interest in the community and wanted to make a difference. And it's different too. Like I said, you went from math to politics. Those are two apples and oranges, you know what I mean? Let me stick to the script, as they say. Where in Boston does YPP currently work?
Right. So, do you guys want to talk about that?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm from Boston. Last year I was teaching in Cambridge, so that's one part. We're in Cambridge, and we're up the street in Phil's Corner right now, teaching computer programming to high school students and middle school students.
Yeah.
Right.
And you guys aren't just in Boston.
Right, we're a national organization, so we're in 8 cities. We were founded in Greater Boston, so Cambridge, like Cliff mentioned, and now we work from East Coast, West Coast. We're in the dirty South. We're in the Midwest. So we're trying to
New York, Boston. Let's talk about those hats real quick.
It's not about the beef part, you know. I think personally, this has a better style to it.
Oh,
Look at it. Get them off security.
It's another deep thing. But I went to the tailor. I got lead on.
You know, we're not even talking about
so
that.
it has
no
a
more.
message though. See that?
Oh, the lead. I like the lead. The hashtag.
We'll leave
on it,
that.
too.
We'll let that slide.
I like the lead. Hashtag lead. Okay. What have you learned about the educational system in the city of Boston since you started to work with YPP?
Right. So that's a heavy question.
I'm
Good
sorry.
question. No, I'll take it. I mean, I've learned that, in my opinion, I think that the real change is going to come from the bottom up. That until young people like Cliff and Shantae take control of their own education, take it into their own hands, that's one of the things that we're going to see that really changes the educational situation from the demand side. So I think that's really important. No,
that was important. I always like to ask too because I want to hear how other people say it too. Going back to the counselor's word she used, she said perspective. And I think that's a great way to approach problems and issues is actually change your perspective other than viewing it as an issue.
Right.
Okay. What would make YPP and similar programs more successful in the city? What can the community at large do to support the math literacy work and workers?
Cool.
Another heavy one. Boom, boom.
Yeah. Well, since it's heavy, you know.
Yeah, let's divide it up.
What do you think?
Well, one thing I think everyone needs to do is to get one young person on their government board, student board anything. There's like a board of rich people, like, you know, have a young person on there, someone from every perspective, everyone, every angle. So like, you know, just every angle someone needs to represent. So you said need a young person there.
Anything to chime in? Don't be shy now.
I'm gonna just agree with Cliff. You know, just have a young person speak their voice in the community, have more outreach to the community, and just support your fellow community.
Do you feel like there's a gap between the older generations and the younger generations?
Yeah, there's sort of a disparity there, but that's just another thing.
So that does, you're not distraught by that at all?
I'm not. I mean, of course, young and old should join together as a team, but...
Because who's the future?
The younger generation?
Just saying.
Well, look, we're actually running out of time, so how can we stay in contact with you guys and know about your upcoming events?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to typp.org. You can come visit us in Fields Corner. We're on the corner of Adams and Dorchester Ave. And you can, get in touch with us. We're here. We're doing work. So
call at me. I'll hook you up.
Yeah.
And, okay, so instead of for our PSA, we're actually going to show the video. Can you just talk about the video really quickly?
Absolutely. So we have a video of a few math literacy workers. I believe Cliff is one of them. at the event at City Year headquarters on January 20th, talking about the work, why it's important. So you might hear some music in the background too, just so you know that that's the celebration happening.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. You're doing something beautiful for your city, and I think y'all some wonderful people, and I'm glad that you've given me some of your time. So let me know any other events. Cool. I'm out there. I love supporting you guys. I actually was a member of YPP as a youngin'. But that's another story. Yeah, I actually didn't know until the city, and I was like, I was here. But to my director, let's show that video because we're not gonna do a PSA. We're gonna holler at them. So in 5, 4, 3, 2.
So what I do at YPP is I create and facilitate workshops for younger kids in middle school and elementary school.
One of the challenges about working with the kids was that if they didn't understand what we were trying to do, it was hard trying to get them to understand what we were doing. In order to get them to understand it, we had to phrase it in a different way and hope that they would get it, and eventually they did.
I would say Boston needs the Young People's Project because they try to get them engaged in school, want them to learn more math, want them to see why math can be fun and why it is important. YPP is one of the really big programs in this city that is really dedicated to that cause.
We find that students are having a hard time understanding the math that they're being taught in school, so we know that kids connect better with interactive activities. So the math literacy workers that in the 9th grade that I'm working with right now, I want them to, follow in my footsteps of making the right choices when it comes to teaching these kids.
You're now in rotation with LoudMindsTV, and I'm in your TV, I'm in your homes, I'm back, season 2. Yo, it feels good. You don't understand. I've just been blessed, and I have some wonderful guests, and it's just awesome. So thank you for supporting me. I really do it for y'all. Unless y'all have some other cool guests out there, hit me up. Email me at loudmindstv@gmail.com. And who do we have in the building right now? We got Leeds Entertainment. Wait, that's not even entertainment. It's edutainment. Edutainment.
Yes, it's edutainment.
All right, so to me that sounds like entertainment, education. Where did that start? How did that come up?
Well, it wasn't really tied into the whole edutainment thing. I mean, it was the KRS-One album. Back in the day, but really my real name is Edward, and when I started the company, I went by Edu Leeds. That was my alias. It was a terrible name. Terrible name because my real name was Ed, and then I was a DJ. And then when I started my company, it was Leeds. Everyone just called me Leeds, so then I wanted to flip it. Instead of Leeds Entertainment, I called it Leeds Edutainment because back in the day, you could just start up an entertainment company and just call it entertainment. Whatever. It didn't matter. So it was just Leeds Edutainment.
Where you from, bro?
I grew up in Georgetown, Massachusetts. Georgetown, very familiar. I moved to southern New Hampshire for a little bit, and I moved to Boston about 10 years ago.
And now you're here right now in front of me. And
Roxbury.
Roxbury, we're in Roxbury.
Beautiful Roxbury. I love being in Roxbury.
Now, to me, I think you're like the vet in terms of hip hop booking. Do you consider yourself that? Do you look at yourself that way? How do you feel about me saying that?
I mean, what's your definition of a veteran?
I mean, first of all, let's talk about some of the guests that you've gotten. Let's talk about how you even started off this year. Who's some of your checklists of your guests already?
You tell me.
Hold up.
I booked so many.
You're right. You're right.
You tell me who you like.
Freddie Gibbs caught my attention personally because I love Freddie Gibbs when he was with CTE, regardless, whatever. He's just a phenomenal lyricist to me. You've had Riff Raff, so that means versatile, because that's not my, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I think that's a vet when you no longer stay in your lane, you're a little bit of splash over and everything, and you still bring the audience and the crowd.
Well, hip hop has changed so much, So there's so many different genres within hip hop. You can have really street hip hop, really pop conscious hip hop, kids hip hop, nerd hip hop, left field hip hop. I mean, you name it. Yeah. It's a different genre for each, and it's a different fan base for each. So I decided a long time ago that I was just gonna do it all. Yeah. Because I want to stay busy.
When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Well, I was a kid living in the suburbs in New Hampshire, if you can believe that. And,
I believe it.
And I was living in a really a middle class community, but I had gone through a tough childhood, and I couldn't really relate to the people I was living around, because they all had things that I didn't have. And hip hop I heard my neighbor had an Ice Cube tape, The Predator.
Probably winning one of these bad boys.
No, it was a CD.
Oh, it was a CD back then?
But we had those back then, too. It was the CD boombox with the double tape.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it was Ice Cube the Predator, Ice Cube the Death Certificate, and Ice-T and all that stuff. And he played it for me, and I was just like, word. Like, I could just, because I could relate to what they were talking about, being oppressed and growing up in these bad environments. Like, I could relate to that. I couldn't relate to the new kids on the block, you know. I couldn't relate to all that other stuff. And it was aggressive back then. I was listening to a lot of heavy metal. So the crossover was there. And the hardcore element and everything. So I just kind of went with that. And from the age of 12 to what you see now, like, you know, that's 20 years.
The game's changed.
I've been here.
And you've progressed.
On Roxbury, but I bet you know what I mean?
Okay, so I want to know a little bit, how did you start? Like, what was alluring to come into the field that you're in right now?
Kind of by default. I went to Northeastern for college, and I was like, I'm going to get in the game. I'm going to get in the music business. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. You know what I mean? I got into the music business and it crashed. Like, the record labels burned, people were burning CDs, bootlegging music, download. I mean, there was no jobs. Everything was downsizing. Like, I thought I was going to work at some label with, like, behind a desk telling everybody how to do their job. You know, like, that wasn't realistic. But the company I was interning with, Metro Concepts at the time, they did promoted shows too on the side. It wasn't their main thing, but they promoted it. And like me being the hustler that I was, I could relate to how shows went together. Like you know, profit minus expense equals all that stuff. And it was easy for me to make that transition. And so I started doing shows, and I was going to a lot of shows, so I loved it. I was young, and I just started, did my first show.
Who was your first show?
Royce the 5'9".
Ah, that's a great show.
Cunning Linguists,
Ooh.
Tone Deaf, and a couple others.
You like the lyrics is.
Right. I lost about $3,000. So for any
I mean, that sounds about right.
Any of you first-time promoters that are really excited, be careful, because you know, you can lose money. And,
well, I'm glad that you even said that, because I always like to talk about the highlights. So, like, would you say that was like your rookie mistake at this, or like?
There's a lot of rookie mistakes.
A lot of rookie mistakes.
You know, like, I still make mistakes. I'm human.
Is that part of the learning?
Yeah, I mean,
lesson?
I think we all learn from our mistakes more than we learn from our gains. You know, like what not to do, right? You know, in the beginning, it wasn't a full-time thing. You know, it was I had to work a side job in sales to make ends meet until I could figure out the formula to make this you know, hip-hop show thing work.
Well, you're known to throw great shows. What upcoming acts do you have booked?
Well, it depends on what you like.
Yeah, true.
I mean? So, I mean, next week we got Talib Kweli.
Yep, I'll be there.
I'm actually, before that, we got Czarface with Inspector Deck and Esoteric.
Okay.
Merce on Saturday.
Merce is here?
Yep. Quat with Fashawn.
Okay.
Kweli on Tuesday, it's sold out. We got Trinidad James.
I'm gonna be
I know you're excited. You're excited, dude. I can see.
Molly. Woo!
Okay. Does he have more than one song?
I actually like Southside. Actually, Southside was a song that actually made me like. But that's what's it? Fonte's on the first. I like.
He's a nice guy.
I like Southside.
He's a nice guy.
All right. So we talked about embarrassing. Okay, so all right, you've worked with some cool cats. Who's a guest that you want to work with? Like someone you've been trying to book, or you've been getting to run around.
Oh man. I like to catch them on the rise. You know, they're a lot friendlier then. You know, on the way down or whatever. I like to say that we work with them on the way up and on the way down. You don't really get them at the peak because I'm not, you know, a huge giant venue. But I mean, I like to work with anyone that is, you know, making moves and doing the right thing. I mean, you have to be open-minded in this business. It's not about my opinion on what works.
Yeah.
I don't make that. The fans decide. You know. The fans decide what's popular, and unfortunately, they're never wrong, whether you disagree or not.
No, that's correct.
From a business point of view, they dictate who's popular. So I had to stop, even though I don't agree with everything that's going on in hip-hop, I had to stop. I had to resign from the debating society because I'd lose money. I don't survive. I don't pay my bills. So I'm willing to work with anybody. There's so many names, I can't list them off. I mean, a lot of good people, a lot of bad people.
Give me one then. Throw
What do you want to hear?
I mean, like, let's stick to hip hop.
Who I want to work with?
Yeah, like.
I mean, I'd love to do a Jay-Z, Eminem
okay.
show,
Right.
but I mean, that's in the future.
That's in the future. Okay, let's talk about future endeavors.
Okay.
After booking, Middle East, you shut it down. Everybody know that's your corner. They have to come through. They have to see you. That's not the end-all dream. If you could wake up tomorrow and you could start your future endeavors, what would it be? It would be.
I don't know, man. Like nowadays, I used to try to plan out my future all the time. I go with the flow now, you know what I mean? I don't force myself into any situation now. When the opportunity arises, I attack. I just hope to be prepared for when that opportunity hits.
How do we stay in contact with you?
You can hit me up on LeadsEdutainment.com. My email's on there. You can go to the Middle East website. You can see what's going on there too. So
yeah, man. You're doing a lot of great shows.
Facebook, Twitter, you know.
You really are, man. I like.
I'm a businessman.
It's when I actually travel too. A lot of people ask me, "Oh, who are the venues?" And your name actually will come up as some of the promoters. But I want to be real. If I didn't throw you in the hot box, so I gotta ask you. Out of the three, who is the most ratchet? Trinidad James, Riff Raff, or 2 Chainz?
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. 2 Chainz takes the cake.
I mean, for that style, I mean, you ask me what I like, neither, none of the above, but, whatever.
Yeah.
2 Chainz is, I would say, the most ratchet. Trinidad's a close second, though.
Close second.
Riff Raff, I don't know.
He's in his own lane. Yo, Leeds, thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate you for being on my season finale.
All right.
We'll be in contact. And one more time, how the people can get in contact with you?
LeadsEdutainment.com. Facebook, Leeds, Twitter, Mr._Leeds, Middle East website. That's it.
Cool. You heard it from the man himself. And you're about to go back to a PSA in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, you're back. Oh, you're now in rotation with LoudMindsTV. I'm in your house while you chilling on your couch. What's good? But yo, look, I love it. I love it. It's my season opener. I'm back. I have some wonderful guests. I'm running out of time, so I'm trying to run through them. Who do we got next to me right now, brother? We got
JL, what's going on?
JL Jelani, brother. What's good, King? You got the crown on today.
Yeah, man.
See you. Let's talk about clothing line real quick. Tell them about it.
Yeah, it's called One Gig Code.
Yeah.
It's a clothing line. They
the B, the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They're holding down the city right now.
Definitely.
I got a shout out to them brothers. All right, we got to jump into it because, we run out of time. Okay, why did you decide to name your video "Ambition of the City"?
I wanted to. I named it "Ambition of the City." I wanted to show. I wanted to show my daily grind in a sense, and I want to create a sense of ambition in viewers. So whoever watched the video, I wanted them to take away a sense of motivation, and I just decided to give it that name, "Ambition of the City." I think it tied in perfectly.
And you're a motivational speaker as well?
Definitely.
Correct. And your tweets say that. You talking to you on a regular basis say that.
Thank
you do speak genuinely from your heart. Also, when I first time I seen the video, I won't even lie, I got a little teary-eyed, man. It was beautiful. It was composed very well. And I believe if I quote tweet, I said it took the Boston mentality in terms of the struggle and at the same time prosperity, and you visualize it on camera. You captured it, and that was awesome because I remember when you was hustling, you were telling me about it. Everybody always hears when somebody whatever, but to see the idea come together, and
Definitely.
Great job.
I think we spoke about 2 months before I even shot the video. I think I was telling you how I had a plan to put that video together, how I was gonna speaking over a beat and everything like that. And you were like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good that we kind of followed up on
the
whole process.
I couldn't see it, yo, but that's what you did. You're the artist and you painted that. Definitely. Another thing I loved about the video too is I seen the ad video on there. I seen the Flyboy Dizzy mixtape.
Yeah, definitely.
What were the books right there in the corner next to the band? I seen the bands making things, whatever. I liked it. Put on the New Balance. A lot of people don't even know they're right here in our own city.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to New Balance. That's another episode. And all right, let me stick to the script. Why did you feel that was necessary though?
Why did I feel like it was necessary? I think it was something. I think it was something that people don't usually see. Mostly, we see a lot of rap artists, and I shout out to all my rappers and everything. But I wanted to shift it in a different direction in the sense of what people are seeing in Boston, and give people a sense of a motivation, and not just through rapping. I want people to see something different, and still using words. You know what I mean? So I decided to put that out in that manner.
You did a great job. What are some of your latest projects or upcoming projects?
I'm working on a couple of projects with some local organizations. I'm working on a project right now with a program called Year Up.
This is a good program.
Yeah, it's a great program. It's a great program. I'm going to be working on a project with a couple local mentoring programs, and I'm figuring out right now what's next in terms of ambition of the city. Right now, I want to construct workshops around the video. So the message that's in the video, I'm gonna construct some workshops around it and bring it into high schools and in youth centers, and, you know, trying to get that same message across to some young people. So
you got to me, so I know it won't be that hard. You're halfway there, brother.
Thanks,
and you're doing a great
you.
job. How can the viewers keep in touch with you and find your work?
Viewers, they could look me up on YouTube. You can just Google Ambition of the City, or you can just, you know, Google Jelani Lynch, and everything will come up. Everything will come up right there.
All right, beautiful. All right. I got to throw you in the hot box real quick before we show the video to the viewers.
Cool.
What Boston artists do you want to work with next?
What Boston artists do I want to work with next?
Oh, Any artist. It doesn't have to be a rapper. Artist.
That's a hard one, man.
I know, that's why it's a hot box question, bro.
Oh, man. What I want to work with next?
Come on, think.
Oh,
TikTok.
Man.
We need the Jeopardy clock up here.
Oh, man, I can't. There's so many, man. I can't really
All right, then
narrow
name
down
your
to
favorite experience with a Boston artist.
My favorite experience with a Boston artist.
That you work with.
That I work with? Oh, man.
I'm about to grow a mustache here, bro.
Oh, I can't. You really put me on the hot seat, bro.
Well, then we're good. You're burning, you're sizzling, you're hot. Let's show them why your video is buzzing.
Let's get it.
Appreciate you. Thank you, King.
Thank you, boss.
Drop it.
When you're from a small city like Boston or any other city, you develop this love-hate relationship. You know, you grew up here, your family's here, all of your friends are here, but there's this little voice in the back of your mind that reminds you that even though this is home, you just gotta make it out. And when I say make it out, it doesn't mean leaving your city behind, but it means having the freedom to go and come as you please. And just to gain that freedom, you have to strategize. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You have to develop your mind, your body, but most importantly, you have to find your passion. You gotta find that one thing that you can put your all into. That one thing you've been dreaming about. And once you find it, you have to breathe it, you have to feel it, you have to see the vision. And once the vision is clear, you now have to believe in that vision like you never believed before. If your belief in yourself and your vision is weak, you can be pulled in any direction. And the things that people say and do will have an effect on you, when in reality, what people say and think about you doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, they don't even exist. You gotta remind yourself who you do it for and what you do it for.
Yeah, you're now in rotation with LoudMindsTV. I'm your host, EMP. I'm so strong. Boston, we live on. Yes, season 2. Look, we're running out of time. I have had some great guests. It's always a blessing. So we're gonna just get straight to the mix. A-Lad, bless King.
What up,
Yo, all right. Explain the name.
A-Lad.
Come on, break it down, bro.
A-Lad is simply like, you know, shortage of my childhood name. My middle name's Alaji. So
what does that mean?
Alaji?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know what it means, but my father's a Muslim, you know, so it comes from, you know, the Quran and all that.
Yeah. And you're a Boston native.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes,
and your
sir.
roots hail from?
I'm from Roxbury.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, representing all day. Roxbury.
I'm from Dorchester, but you know, I
love
the Roxbury movement, yo. And lately, I actually say, last year, I felt the unity in our city. So I love like these new joint ventures that we're able to do with each other, and we letting other little things, childish things to go aside and let grown men stand and do business together. And it's a pleasure for me to be doing business with you. I love the people around you. Shout out to Dre Ducati. Follow him on Twitter. I'll be retweeting him all day. True story. But that's the homie. He be dropping gems. All right. What is lacking in Boston music, and how do you improve it?
What's lacking?
Yeah.
In Boston music, I mean, I honestly don't feel like anything's lacking right now.
Go ahead.
I feel like, you know, a lot of up and coming artists like myself is actually making noise. You know, it's just, you know, only a matter of time.
Yeah, man.
You know, I feel like somewhat, you know, things could be a little united, but, you know, we getting there. We getting there. I feel like the young generation's making a, you know, strong push. And, you know, I feel like we, you know, kind of remotivating the older heads to, you know,
they mad at us right now,
you know?
They looking at it like we eating their food, man.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
It's all love, you know?
I love it. It's recycled. All right, I said, how do you improve it? But let's say it like this. What makes you separate from any other Boston rapper?
What makes me separate from any?
I know I'm throwing these at you right now.
You know, I feel like, you know, you gotta be fumbling right now. I feel like, you know, I'm grinding hard, you know, right now, and you know, I don't feel like nothing separates me, but my drive for this is, you know, something serious. Can
I hear you? I don't see that you're trying to say you feel like you're better or really greater than anybody. You're just saying you work really hard. I feel like I'm in my own lane. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You know, I show love, you know, to everybody out here, so I don't want to feel like it's, you know, a competition thing. You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel like I see that a lot. Yeah. You know, as far as just in the city, and you know, artists like myself, you know, need to, you know, stand up and show that it ain't about the competition. It's about just us showing love to each other and all that.
Yeah, cultivating that art culture. Yeah. All right, we're really running out of time, so I got Blaze for this. Your online presence is continually growing. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were nominated the top 50 underappreciated artists?
Nah, underground hip hop artists.
You're still underappreciated, brother. Real talk. You deserve more credit. Now, I personally, you quote me, you could quote me. Yeah. But it was on allhiphop.com. How did that feel? Walk me through that briefly.
I mean, you know, being selected to be in the top 50 was, you know, dope. You know, I feel like, you know, it's a dope look for the city. You know, I'm big on, you know, showing like the scenery, because, you know, people that don't live in Boston don't know about Roxbury. They don't know about Mattapan. They don't know about Dorchester. You know, they see the movies, they see Boylston, Fenway.
The town.
Yeah, so like I feel like it's dope in the sense of, you know, I can show the scenery of what it really is, what my struggle really is, what your struggle really is. You feel what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So it's dope. It's dope.
How do we stay in contact with you, and what should we be on the lookout for? Because we're about to play your song after this.
You can stay in contact with me on Twitter at LoudMindsTV. You can stay in contact with me on Facebook at LoudMindsTV. And, you know, I got a whole bunch of things coming. I got the video coming with Av.
Okay.
The young black African-American joint.
And that's what we're going to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What inspired that? It's Black History Month.
To be honest with you, what really inspired it was just me hearing the beat. And the words just came out. It was, you know, a real turned up beat. And
we're gonna play that beat, and we're gonna let the viewers get that. Okay. Yo, Blessed King, I appreciate you for your time.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna highlight you when that drops. Okay. We gotta come back out here. We gotta do a performance.
Definitely.
Play the track. Let me the credits roll.
Listen. You might call it swagging, but I'm swerving through. Fenway home run derby, send it out is what I'm told to do. Get it by the minute, always learning, back in something new. Shorty call my phone, but I can't pick up. Lisa coming soon. If it ain't about that dark river green, I can comprehend anything. You ain't talking my language, we ain't talking no business. Fuck me, they jocking now. I'm a bossy Rick Ross and wow. It takes a loss to get a W. See, patience is the key, but can you wait your turn? Some dudes be hard-headed, same spot, never learn. You going bald-headed, old man still rhyming. I tell them now it's mine, dog. Perfect timing, it's mine, dog. Perfect timing, it's mine, dog. Perfect timing. Victory, yeah, victory comes at the end when you show them all your history. I'm young, black, African-American. Yeah, I'm young, black, African-American. This is like the minds of my people's from that other side. Me, Malcolm X.